Hey guys, it's Biggs. Taking you somewhere a little bit different today. This only happens for about a week out of every year in the springtime. It also happens in the fall. But I'm going to take you to see some snakes. The world's largest congregation of Red Sided Garter Snakes happens in Manitoba in the spring, every single year when they emerge from brumation from underground dens. They're just starting to come out now. We've been desperately waiting for some warmer weather, but they're starting to come out now. So let's take a peek. I'm in actually Inwood, Manitoba, which is only about 15-20 minutes away from Narcisse, Manitoba, which is where that massive migration of the world's migration of snakes comes to. You see beside me, or behind me, I sure hope they're not that big. Just in case, I brought my snake hook, and we brought the tongs, so we're good to go.
We're here, the Snake Dens.
These snake dens are located about an hour's drive north of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, in a community known as Narcisse, just outside of Inwood, Manitoba. At Narcisse, for about 1 week in early spring, one can witness the mass emergence from tens of thousands of red-sided garter snakes. Now, there's thousands of underground caves all over the country and all over the world, but the ones at Narcisse are very, very well known for their sheer mass numbers and densities of snakes. Unknown to most, but the statue of the two snakes that I showed you at the beginning of the video at Inwood, Manitoba is actually over an actual underground den. Another story is that the Stonewall Penitentiary, when being built, uncovered an absolute massive snake den. Perhaps it's fitting that it's a federal maximum security they were building. Perhaps fitting they should have just left it undisturbed as a bonus for their time being well spent for the prisoners. However, it's probably not very fair to all our cute little snakes. Thamnopsis sertalis parietalis is a subspecies of the common garter snake and is characterized by paired, broken red stripes running laterally along the body. Red-sided garter snakes are completely non-venomous and considered to be completely harmless. They do, however, have a gland known as Duvernoy's gland, and it's oddly in the exact same place where a venom gland would be located. But this gland produces a saliva, and if by chance you were bitten, and I use that term very loosely, bitten by a garter snake, it may actually release some of that saliva that may be irritable to your skin. Very, very unlikely, but it could happen. Like all snakes, the red-sided garter snake is an ectotherm, or cold-blooded, and therefore cannot generate its own body heat. So it relies 100% on nature to provide warm, sunny days for it to produce its snakely ways. Mammals such as ourselves are endotherms, and we produce our own body heat, some far more than others. The bedrock around Narcisse is in close proximity to the surface and primarily composed of limestone. Now, many, many years of water percolating into this limestone has created vast sinkholes and underground caves, which are true havens for the snakes in the wintertime. These underground caves are also known as hibernaculum. We refer to animals that need a winter's rest, such as called hibernation, but with reptiles, it's actually more correct term would be called brumation, due to there being metabolic differences between bodies of hibernating mammals versus brumating reptiles. At the end of brumation, the snakes emerge from their underground lairs. The females are generally larger than the males, and the males attack the females in mass and form these large writhing mating balls, as seen in some of these pictures. Once mating is finished, the snakes all just go their separate ways. Red-sided garter snakes lead an entirely solitary life outside of brumation. Red-sided garter snakes are oviviparous, meaning that they give birth to live young. Actual eggs develop within the female, but these eggs are not calciferous. They don't have a lot of calcium. They're not a hard egg like a chicken egg. They're soft, and the young are born live. A large mature female can produce easily upwards of 60 to 80 offspring. Once born, though, these offspring are completely on their own to fend for themselves. Young snakes are sexually mature at about 2 years of age. That's only if they survive. Red-sided garter snakes have an absolute abundance of predators. Birds such as hawks, eagles, crows, mammals such as squirrels, raccoons, and skunks, larger snakes, turtles, even fish predate on them. Much debate has been gone into deciphering how the red-sided garter snakes actually find their way back home. And maybe they leave some sort of a chemical trail or something. Or some say that they use the sun or they use the moon. I don't really know. And until we get to the point that we can have that discussion with these snakes and they can tell us how it's done, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy them. It's truly a wonder of nature to see these things, and I'm very proud to be able to be not too far away to be able to come and see this every couple of years. Now, the numbers have been in fair decline the past few years, but I think it's cyclic. I think they move around, and maybe some don't actually come back to the exact same den every single year. We don't really know. But this is really cool that you see these new fences that they've been putting in place. When I was little, you used to be able to go to these snake dens and walk right down into the dens. Not for the best for the snake, but they've been putting these nice walkway paths and these nice little observational decks and all these nice fences and stuff like that to be able to save the snakes. Now, this is kind of a sad sight to see of seeing a snake that's dead on the road. And actually, at Narcisse, the wildlife management has installed all these nice little nets all around the roads and the highways and stuff like that. So when all these tens of thousands of snakes stop mating and just bust out and start going their own separate ways, this is a method that they can go through these tubes. And these nets channel them to these tubes that take them under the highways safely into the farmlands and the grounds, and then they can just disperse at their own. It's truly a wonder of nature to see this. Very, very, very cool. I hope you enjoyed my little trip taking you guys to Narcisse to see our little snakes. And in the fall, it's not as much, but maybe next year, spring, we'll go and do it again, see what it looks like.